Well, our Target member, Tom, put up a video of him working on Bourree. Great Bach tune. Really good song to work on. And Tom, I know you've been around for a long time. I've really appreciated everything you've, as long as you've stuck with us at the site. And I know you were kind of waiting for some of the complicated instrumentals to come in. So here's a couple things you can work on in there. It's a little tough. You're playing on a steel string guitar, and hand position on a steel string guitar is, especially with the narrow neck, with the dreadnought guitar you have there, it's even harder to keep your hand in good position. But try to focus on, with your left hand, moving as little as possible, economy of motion. You want to see like no action, but from your elbow to your wrist to your shoulder, anything in there, except when you have to change positions and are moving up the neck, and then it's just this way, not this way. So really work on that. This is really hard for all of my students. So just try to move your left hand as little as possible, and be sure you can reach to every chord. Now, for example, when you put a bar down, you're in great position. But if all of a sudden you had to go hit a C up here, you really have a tendency to come way up here like this, and that's you gotta try to start cutting that out. With your right hand, work a little bit more on alternating fingers on consecutive notes, so practice playing scales. Just get used to, start with them slower than that, by the way. Just practice playing some scales like a G scale and alternating your fingers regardless of when you switch strings, so that you're always going middle index, middle index, middle index. So get used to doing this. And don't miss any notes. No, it's okay if you miss notes, but and go as slow as you have to until this feels natural. And then you really are going to have to take your hand off the guitar. You got to plan on using. You got to learn to use your third finger. So if you want to get serious about the finger picking and all that kind of stuff, start trying to play in the unanchored position. Again, the only time you anchor is when you're playing with a pick. When you're playing with a pick and you're hitting single notes. And then as soon as you strum, you got to take the anchor away. So one other big thing, in the second section, this song is built in a whole series of pretty much 4-measure phrases. And at the end of each 4-measure phrase, it comes to rest, and then there's a little connecting line, like a string of 5 or 6 eighth notes that lead you into the next one. And the cadences, let me see, so like right here, even though you hear a stop in there, the bass needs to continue. And if you're going to slow it down and pause any place, the place to pause is at the end of that line, not at the beginning. And then you could rest for a second. Go into the next one. What is it? Don't pause here. Keep going. And then you could rest a little bit before you go into the next one. Anyway, you get the idea. So, so my usual prescription for almost everybody: slow it down, play it with a metronome, and then just be a lot more controlled with both hands. You got to think about every single thing you're doing. And for as long as you've been playing, this is really difficult because these habits are seriously ingrained. So you're going to have to. Sometimes I tell people when you're trying to change a bad habit, really work consciously on it for just a few minutes, because if you try to do this for half an hour, you're gonna melt down. So just try to do it a few minutes at a time. Say that, okay, for the next 5 minutes, and set a timer. For the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna play everything in perfect position. And when that timer goes off, get up, walk away, and like take a break. Then you can come back and play around. You can goof around again in your old style, but then try another 5-minute dose somewhere down the line of working on breaking the old habits. But it's really, really hard to stop any bad habit. Guitar playing is no different. But anyhow, keep up the great work.